What's up, conscious creators? Alex here. Welcome from a windy morning in Mexico. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 dangers of shadow work. First, I'll give a short introduction or refresher on shadow work. Then, I'll reveal the 3 dangers, and with each one, how to remedy against the danger so that you can use the power of the shadow to heal and transcend. Shadow work is the process of revealing to awareness the shadow parts of our psyche so that they can be understood, integrated, or released. We have patterns of thinking and feeling that tend to get exiled into the shadow part of our psyche and trapped in the nervous system. Perhaps as a child, a certain behavior or way of thinking was deemed unacceptable, so it was repressed. Perhaps there was a traumatic situation in your past where you suppressed a particular response or feeling, and that feeling can manifest later in life, trapped in the nervous system, lingering in the background, or triggered by particular life situations. A big part of shadow work is healing those old triggers, healing the old emotions, and releasing old dysfunctional thinking patterns. With shadow work, you can heal generational trauma, and you can understand repressed parts of your psyche that are often subconsciously fueling behavior. You can embrace suppressed desires, and you can release old feelings and patterns that don't serve you anymore, so you can have a new empowered personality shine through and transform your world around you for the better. So here's the 3 dangers of shadow work and how to remedy against them. The first danger is staying in the shadow for too long. So, a simple shadow work process you can do is to journal about how you feel unjudgmentally and include negative feelings. What do you feel scared of, angry about, or disgusted by? And whilst you're doing this, you bring to your awareness how you feel in the body, somatically. You feel the body from the inside, the density, tension, or constriction, and you allow it to move through the body. But you don't want to stay in the shadow for too long. It's often best to just stick with 5 minutes maximum. If you're journaling and you're not overwhelmed, you can go deep into the shadow and write down your deepest thoughts and feelings unjudgmentally. But after 5 minutes, start to journal to the positive. You can begin sentences with words like "what if" and contemplate positive reframes. What if they were only doing their best? What if I can forgive? What if I can feel optimistic about the future? What if it's all working out for the best growth of my soul? What if I can love again? With shadow work, we need to reparent and repattern. Reparenting is learning and integrating the things that were never taught or completed in childhood. It's teaching our body and mind how to respond in an adult way and in a way that's in line with who we really are as infinite consciousness. We need to repattern old negative patterns with new positive ones. We must bring to awareness the old suppressed thinking and feeling patterns and overwrite those circuits with new realizations, integrations, and understandings. Write about what you realize now from your older, wiser self. Write about what you realize now when you connect with the truth of who you really are as loving, aware consciousness. Don't get stuck in the shadow for too long. 5 minutes max is a good guide. Then go up the emotional spiral into thoughts and feelings that are on behalf of your deepest love and understanding. Inject new optimism or a positive reframe. The second danger of shadow work is getting overwhelmed. Shadow work can trigger some strong emotions, and some people have a lot of trapped emotions or trauma in the body. We don't want to be triggering so much that you feel too overwhelmed or that what you're feeling is something that you can't handle. We want to be keeping it inside what's called your window of tolerance. Too little emotional arousal for too long is being stuck in a state of apathy or shut down. You must feel it to heal it. That's how the saying goes, so feeling it is good. But you don't want to be feeling so much emotional arousal that it's too overwhelming or even re-traumatizing. When you're doing shadow work, pay close attention to what you're feeling in the body. Reveal only as much of the shadow as you currently feel safe to, and as best as possible, increase your window of tolerance by cultivating a sense of safety in the body and mind, and then you're able to feel more feeling without feeling overwhelmed, and therefore heal and release it. If you start to feel particularly overwhelmed, consider sourcing some external support to help you too. The third danger of shadow work is identification with the character. What do I mean by that? I mean identification with the thinking, the story, identification with the character in your mind. Psychologists call this cognitive fusion. For example, maybe you're doing some shadow work journaling and some repressed anger comes out. Maybe you're deep diving into the shadow and some strong feelings come up and you're writing something like, "I'm so pissed off and angry," or the words, "I f***ing hate you" come out when you're thinking and feeling about a particular past situation or person. Don't identify with the words. They're not necessarily what your deeper self really thinks and feels now. You may not truly hate that person deep down. It's a character that feels hurt and it's expressing. It's a wounded inner child. Don't identify with the character and think it's the core of who you are. Your repressed thoughts and feelings aren't always what your true self or your older, wiser self generally thinks and feels. And so if you identify with all of your thoughts and think they're really you, it might shock you when it comes down to digging deep into the shadow. If you really believe that you really are all of your thoughts, you might go on a downward spiral, mentally beating yourself up, thinking, how could I think that? Does that mean I'm a hateful person? Is there something wrong with me? Does that mean I'm messed up or crazy? And it will just lead to more anxiety and overwhelm. So it's important to remember that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts don't necessarily reflect what you really believe and feel deep down. It might be the voice of a disturbed and upset inner child who is screaming out, trying to protect itself. The voice of a parent or caregiver, or a message you heard when you were younger, left within your subconscious and now only fully brought to light. Or an old feeling that went left unexpressed and is only just coming out now. You can think of it like this. It's not really you that's thinking and feeling these things. It's a scared, upset, embarrassed or shamed child, an inner character as it were. And bringing it to awareness is a good thing when you see it for what it is. But don't identify with it. Be there for the one who feels scared, upset, angry or disgusted, but don't identify with it. Let it express itself in the light of awareness. Feel the feelings associated with it. Let the somatic sensations move through your body, but don't identify with them. Then you can release it in the light of awareness. When you create a loving space for your triggers, and you don't allow them to take over, and you see them in the light of awareness, they heal and dissolve, so you can act from a new place of clarity and inner freedom. So in summary, the 3 shadow work mistakes are staying in the shadow for too long, getting overwhelmed, and identifying with the character. So give yourself 5 minutes max in the shadow each time, and then start going into the positive journaling about new optimisms and new truths on behalf of your older, wiser self. Reparent yourself and repattern. Keep the feelings within a window of tolerance and increase the window of tolerance by creating a sense of safety in the body and mind. Connect to internal or external resources that help you feel safe and empowered in the process. Connect to the peace and stability of your being. And don't identify with the character. Don't identify with the thoughts, the mental narratives. Fully feel the feelings within the window of tolerance and give expression to the character. But remember, it's not really you. Allow your true self, the one who's more optimistic and at peace, to come through afterwards. Journal about new optimism and realizations or integrations on behalf of an older, wiser or truer self. And so that concludes the video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you go into the description of this video, you'll find a link to speaktoalex.com where you can book a free one-to-one with me or one of my team to see if you would be a good fit for the Awaken Aware program. That's speaktoalex.com. It's a science and non-duality informed coaching program to help you discover inner peace and freedom and overcome old anxious fear patterns. And there's a link to a free guided musical breathwork session that I created for you. See you in the next video. Peace and blessings. Love you all. Peace.